Hey everyone, today we are in Massachusetts and we are back on scene. Take a look at this place. Wow, the grass is so green in the past couple weeks since I've been here. I predicted that there might be a lot of algae stuck in the trash rack that we unclogged by beavers last time. There is definitely lower water levels than last time, and let's see if they reclogged it. We're gonna stop right here and we'll also stop on the other pipe further down the road. Before I get the big high boots on, we're going to evaluate the area and make sure it needs to be unclogged again, because that was literally my last time ever finding, unclogging, and discovering the whole area was, I think, about 3 weeks ago. So I don't even know if the beavers will clog it right back up, but if they're active, it certainly will be clogged back up. But the water levels are much lower than they were last time, so let's get out of the vehicle and see. All right, so today is the 30th of April, 2023, and today is the last day I am legally allowed to drive in Massachusetts because of my studded tires. And Vermont and New Hampshire allow you to keep them on year-round, but Maine, that right there is a tricky one. I understand Massachusetts because they have absolutely no snow left, but Maine, their growing season in some areas doesn't start until June 15th. But yet that state also makes you take them off on the 1st of May. But where I work in the northern part of that state, there are still almost 2 feet of snow up there. So I am going up there onto the logging roads one more time. The first week of May, I'm leaving them on, despite that law, and I will take them right back off afterwards when I'm done, because that should be the last time I will need them. But a state that can still receive snow into early June, it's kind of messed up that the people making the laws down in the cities would do something like that, because I was just up there less than a week ago and I actually got stuck in the snow. So it's definitely still a requirement this time of year, but I got chains on me anyways. So, did the beavers come back? I'm not sure, but I was right about the slime. We have a really big slime blockage today, and a lot of plant and grass material is stuck on here. Look at the leaves coming out. Everything is so bright green and vibrant. Look at the grass. Some of the trees have barely budded, but certain areas, like I just came from this morning, southeastern Mass, and kind of near the Boston area, their trees, I would say, are close to being half full of leaves. And here's the other side. Yeah, we'll probably get that flowing a bit more. And then later on, we'll walk down there. If you guys remember, there's another pipe. And then further down the road, when I continue driving, there's another pipe down there we will also look at. Let's see if I have camera number 2. I may have forgot it, but we'll get the big high boots on and get back in the water right there. If you can see in the, I don't know if you guys can see, but there is a good amount of slime here that I predicted would be here. Last time we saw a lot of slime down there where it's shallow because it was able to heat up a lot, but now that it's a few weeks later, take a look at that. So Massachusetts growing season starts in one day. I just started my seedlings in the house. I'll post that video pretty soon, and I'll show you guys all that, because I don't feel safe planting them out in the yard for at least a few more weeks, so I started them in the house. That right there might be an issue. You know what that might be? Those big holes like that. That might mean the trees in this area of Massachusetts have the Asian longhorn beetle eating them. All right, everyone, we're down in the water with the big high boots. Camera number 2 is set up. We're gonna go ahead and turn this on. Unfortunately, camera number 2 only has 20% battery left, because I wasn't even planning on using it today. But I don't see why we're going to be here using it more than 10 minutes. It's not going to be a big blockage. I'm not even sure yet if the beavers are even involved. This stuff may have floated here, but if they're active, then they are certainly going to be involved. Let's get down into the water and set the camera up. I saw a lot of frogs over there. As soon as we're done unclogging this, we can go look for some frogs. That'll be fun. Frog season. Last time I think we saw at least one, but now that it's warmer, they are really coming out, them guys. Just making sure this is steady. It's kind of hard to set up the camera sometimes in mud. don't want it to slip. All right, I think we're good. Let's move on over there. It's a lot of slime. I didn't even bring the rake because I remember last time it wasn't much help. Look at all that slime. Wow, it's all slime. I wonder if the beavers put it here. Last time, a couple of weeks ago, we got this thing completely open, and I can tell by how the grass is on there, this thing had a big rage of water going through it. It's very uncertain if the beavers actually did this or not, but I'm gonna open it up like I did last time. It's pointless sitting here for a half an hour picking away. These are very heavy signposts. Probably like 50 years old. They don't use them this heavy anymore because they don't want you getting killed if you drive through it. This thing is heavy combined with the weight of the water. See that? Lift it up. Let the debris pass through the pipe. This grate is only here to stop the beaver from building a blockage in the middle. And yes, there's definitely beavers here. I just found a piece of bark that was recently chewed apart by them. Now we're gonna go ahead and lift it up on this side, get rid of that debris. I just got my butt wet, flooded the boot a little tiny bit. This side was the heaviest last time. Piece of bark. Let's get this thing up. And it went right through. Use my foot, make sure everything is clear. There are a couple sticks already gone. Lower away, back into place. And the DOT is using these things to make sure it doesn't fall back down where the beaver can get inside and cause a much bigger blockage. I don't know why they're not maintaining this themselves. What did that take, 5 minutes? But they'd probably bring a whole excavator out just for that. Working nice. We're gonna have a lot more flow than before. Nice. What do you think of my new touchscreen gloves? Pretty nice. They're nice and thin. It feels like you're not even wearing anything. All right, time to go across the street and see what improvement there is. Then we can go for a walk, look at the other pipes in the swamp. There's one more in this area, then we gotta drive to the next. Look at all this twisted fencing. See this? It's very dangerous if you were to fall on this. Look how sharp some of this is. This could easily cut you. This is part of an old beaver structure. There was probably a big fence going around. We're gonna leave this up here, hopefully DOT or someone takes that. Is there any more of it? It looks like there's a whole lot of it, meaning they may have not got it all. See? It's a good amount of this junk here that you could easily get hurt on if you were to fall down here. And there may be more of it where it came from. This is a fence that would have gone around, spreading out the area, because it's easy for the beavers to plug that because it's flat, you know, just push things against it. But a big fence, they'd have to clog along the entire thing to get the water level to rise. There's still a lot of this stuff here. Someone's gonna end up getting hurt on all that junk. This is so irresponsible of the DOT, just throwing it up here on the edge of the water. Very irresponsible. So now we're about to go over to the other side Look at all the beautiful lily pads. The rhizomes are starting to come up to the surface. Those ones out there have already come down to the surface. 2 more cars and we're about to go across. I can already see the rippling in the water. Huge difference. Let's take a walk on over. Wow, a huge difference. Here's what it looked like before to being half full of leaves. And here's the other side. Yeah, we'll probably get that flowing up. And here's what it looks like after. That is an amazing difference. And you see, this is probably from fishermen going down, maybe the beaver crossing the road to get to the other swamp. So this is where I walked down before. I want you to see how cool this is. How this whole swamp grass is moving around like it's floating on top of gas. It probably is. It's very stinky as you walk through here. See how the whole land is like gas underneath the mud that it's rooted in? I remember one time, if you ever seen my video walking out to a eagle's nest, I had to walk through a marsh like this. The entire thing was floating and moving around. Like if I stepped in the wrong spot, could have fell into who knows how deep the water is that stuff was floating on. Major difference on this side. I'm gonna speed up camera number 2 in a time lapse so you can see that really start up. That is nice. We'll have to come here sometime after a storm. Now, if beavers are not involved, the material you saw today, that slime is gonna stop pretty soon. That's got a limited window where it really takes off. But now we're gonna go for a walk down the road. All right, everyone, so we're gonna go on a little walk right now, and we're gonna see there's a really tiny culvert up there with only about a foot diameter. We're gonna see how that's doing. I did just see a frog hop in here. Maybe we'll see more. It's more stagnant up here. The water's probably warmer. Maybe we'll even see some frog eggs. You know, near my place, the frogs always lay eggs in the drainage ditch. But yet last year was so dry that once they hatched, the tadpoles ended up dying because the water just completely disappeared. And this year, as soon as the frogs laid the eggs, I went out and scooped them all up and put them in the pond back at the house. My neighbor has a sizable pond too that's probably close to 30,000 gallons. Brought some over there to his place, and I bought a bunch of smaller ponds that are about 55-gallon capacity and just threw the eggs in there. As soon as they turn into frogs, they're free to hop away wherever they want. But instead of them just drying up on the side of the road. Now, last time we were here, the water was probably about at least 6 or 8 inches deeper. And you see how the road is starting to fall apart here? The DOT has obviously known about this problem a while, the way they patched it and it kept on slipping, but did nothing about it. And where the guardrail here curves down, there was actually water up to it, touching it. And I mentioned, and this water is still pretty high, that this guardrail is gonna have a lot more give if someone actually hits it, since it's in the mud. A lot of times guardrails don't have concrete foundations or anything like that to hold them. So this is our first culvert. Look how small it is. And I think this is the only one on this section of road. Is this the pipe? No, I got tricked. That's not the pipe. I know the pipe is where there's a crack. No, it's up there. No, I got tricked right there. The grass is beautiful and green. But next week, I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're back up in northern Maine. There's still snow, and there's really no signs of spring up there yet. Not really, other than the bears already being out. So where's that other pipe? No, it's at one of these cracks. Nope. Maybe this crack up here. Yeah, you can tell the water level is a lot lower. You can see this deadness of where the water was up to last time. I hear tree frogs still. I hear the road is slipping again into the swamp. Maybe this is the pipe here. If not, I'll look on the way back 100%. No, I must have somehow overlooked it. I'll show you guys on the way back. Just want to take a walk all the way to the end of the swamp. Look at all that green sludge down in the water. That is what some of we were just fishing. You see down in the water, that is not a reflection of the trees. That is a lot of slime and sludge growing. I just moved to the other side of the road. Oh, we already found one. That's exactly why I came over here. Yeah, this side of the road also looks lower, because last time we arrived here just after the spring thaw. So this is considerably lower also. But that is not an effect of unclogging the pipe. As we're walking, maybe we'll see some more frogs hop. That'll be fun. All right, everyone, we finally found the pipe. 1 foot diameter pipe, still flowing pretty well. Now let's go to the other side. That's a real shame. A turtle got hit by a car. Whenever I find a turtle or something, I try to help it out. I think this is the spot that I just stopped to look at, and I didn't think it was the pipe. Why didn't I think it was the pipe? Where's the water going in? Yeah, I don't see any current, but that's a dead giveaway, all the debris here. So where is the pipe? Was it even where I was just reaching? There's got to be a blockage on it because it's definitely not visible from above. So exactly right here, the pipe. Oh, that's why. Last time I think I walked out on it. Here is the end of the pipe. There it is. Here's the end of the pipe. It's got a pretty good amount of pull, but this stuff is sitting above it. There is no actual blockage on it. Not at all. Yeah. See, if you can see things getting sucked in right there. All right, it's flowing good. I thought it was there. I just couldn't see it, and I completely overlooked it. But we found it coming out the other side pretty good. You can see right here where the DOT has been putting tar in the cracks. The tar in the cracks is to prevent water from getting down in there, freezing and expanding. Now, you see how it's kind of sinking right here? This looks like in the wintertime when it's really cold, it becomes a frost heave. A frost heave is caused by too much moisture under the road. The water freezes, it expands, and it pushes up the path of least resistance. And especially when you have water dangerously close to the road, even if the road was originally designed correctly, that's going to be a problem. Underneath a paved road especially, you always want to have drainable fill. You do not want it to hold water. You want it to be very sandy and rocky so the water can get out of there. If there's no water, when it gets cold, there's nothing to freeze and expand up into the road. But it's very unavoidable when you have water levels that high. Look at the difference on each side. Still pretty high. But it was designed to be a little bit higher on that side. By unclogging it today, that will successfully drop down at least another half a foot, maybe 8 or 10 inches. We'll see. I believe last time we were here, this little tiny island was just about underwater. And it looks like more frost heaving happening. Wow, this is kind of pretty. Look at all the slime over in this pool. Bet the frogs love that. Nice and pretty. Look at that. That kind of reminds me of all the colorful swamps and marshes. If you zoom in with Google Maps on northern Canada, it just looks amazing up there. And iron oxidizing bacteria over in the corner. Look at this guardrail right here. Somebody has hit that. Look, it's about to break off. I bet if I shook it back and forth enough times, that would literally snap. Yeah, it would. I can't believe, look at this. This was not hit any time recently. But the Department of Transportation doesn't even mark it. If that would have happened in New Hampshire or Maine, immediately this thing would have cones around it. And it would immediately, in a week or two, be replaced, that section of guardrail. In fact, in those states, you'd never see a guardrail in this state at all. They're all shiny up north. They're replaced pretty often. And also up north, this is not to code. This guardrail is not to code anymore. Now it needs a plastic compression block so you have a little bit more cushion when you crash against it. I know near my house, they recently just took down a bunch of guardrails in absolutely perfect condition because they had wood blocks between the post and the rail, which is no longer the code these days. So they had to replace it with a plastic compression block, and I asked the DOT when they were taking it down, hey, can I have all those chunks of wood? Yeah, because I put them in my swamp, and now it's like a little walkway. They're pressure treated, and that guardrail they removed wasn't even that old. It was still in great shape. But they get a lot of scrap for the guardrail, and I don't see any purpose in asking for that. But they let me have all the squares. I probably got a couple dozen of them. And the plastic compression blocks, sometimes I find those. You know what I do with them? Block each side of it, because it's like a plastic cinder block. Drill holes, and birds actually live in them. So if we look down here, I came back for another look. Now that I'm looking at it, this will drop another 12 to 18 inches at least. So that island will become bigger, and this will get much further away from the road. Because you see, there's a tree in the water. It definitely didn't start its life right there. Nope. But looking at the banks, this place is used to being a little bit high. And that means the beavers have been a problem for a while, or just this trash rack in general clogging up. If it wasn't for the trash rack, basically everything there today, assuming it came over naturally, like you see little pieces of slime all coming over, instead of getting stuck, they would just go right through. But it's the beavers, they're the reason why this thing is required to be here. So the blockage isn't in the pipe, which you can't fit in. So they'd have to come out here with heavy machinery, and they'd have to get an excavator to jam something in there to push on out. But this is nice. The next time we come, it's almost guaranteed all these trees will have leaves, or at least close to it. So we'll be back here maybe in another month or so. We'll give it another check when we get on into summer. Hopefully this summer is not another big drought. It's looking good. We have a lot of rain in the forecast. All right, everyone, we're back in the vehicle. We're gonna drive down the road. One more car, two more cars. We have another mile or so drive, and we're gonna stop at another pipe that had so much slime in it last time we were here. Because that slime, it grows sooner in shallow bodies of water. This deeper body of water takes longer for the sun to heat up and have it start growing. So we'll be there in a couple minutes. All right, everyone, we are arriving back on scene right here. It's over there to the left. All right, we're just gonna pull over right here because there's not a good parking spot. Put the roof lights on. Here's the pipe. It looks pretty plugged up. Not a lot's coming out, but we're also not here in the spring thaw. That's why there was more water last time. Pull over right here. Maybe I should be on the other side. I don't know, but we'll see. All right, let's see what we got here at this pipe. It doesn't look like an issue at all. No, I don't see an issue. There's a lot of slime here, but there was a lot more last time. That's pretty cool. Look at it all coming over to the pipe. Look at that slime. There's really not much of anything. Oh my gosh. This water feels like bath water. It's so warm. The shallow water was really able to heat up in the sun. Oh my gosh. It's probably not bad all the way through, like severely, but the bottom of the pipe there for about a foot in is completely missing, rusted out. And that is a sign of things to come. I think this pipe will be okay for maybe another 5 years, but this pipe should definitely be replaced at some point. It's not going to last that much longer. It's got to be replaced. And hopefully Massachusetts doesn't use a plastic one. See this pipe? It's barely in the ground. But yet this pipe has never got crushed. It has served its life. This ground is obviously pretty soft because of the swamp, but a plastic one will certainly get crushed. Hopefully they don't use that. They've been using a lot of those lately. I gotta point out, this swamp is so beautiful. Look at this. Look at all these little mossy islands. Got a lot of lily pads. Very pretty swamp. I love seeing this. And out there growing in the swamp, they're probably not going to get that big because of the muddy soil. They'll probably uproot and fall over. Those are a bunch of baby white pines. White pine trees get very big. That's what you see in the background right there. Those things can grow up over 150 feet at full size. They're very, very big trees. but I don't think they'll ever reach that height in the swamp here. All right, everyone, so we're gonna end the video here. It's a very beautiful day in Massachusetts. When I was out east earlier today near Boston, temperature was reading 68. Right here, it's reading about 62. Very nice temperatures. I love working in temperatures like this. It was nice. But anyways, I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Getting a lot of bugs on the windshield. It's that time of year again. Everyone, I had to add this to the video. This is called a dry fire hydrant. There was one right where we just were with that beaver clog. I'm here just for a second to look at this pipe. I went by, there's always a pool of water. This is how they fight fires out in the country because there's no city water, meaning no, oh my gosh, there is a beaver grate here. Let's quickly see if we can fix this beaver grate at this dry fire hydrant. Oh my gosh, that thing is so heavy. Wow, I can't even budge this grate. Oh, that's why. There's a gigantic rock. Wow, that thing is so heavy, that rock. I had to put the grate back down. Let's get this rock off of here. Ow. That's a heavy, heavy rock. Come on off. There you go. Get off of the grate. Go on into the pond. Now there's a little bit of debris here inside the pipe. Wow. Some pretty long sticks in here too. This firefighting pond is a little bit over its capacity because of this. Oh, the pipe is destroyed too. I almost just tried to pull up a piece of rusted metal. Absolute neglect. I can tell those, I'm touching the rusted metal again, thinking it's a stick. Wish I knew how bad it was. Could have got camera 2 out. Now I highly doubt this was beavers. This is just junk that came over. Maybe it was beavers, the way it was really crammed in there. Now let's get this. It's a lot lighter this time. Back up into place. A little bit of debris right there. That was on top of it. Back on into place. There we go. I'm assuming the rock was on top of the pipe right there in that gap. But that's flowing nice. Let's look at the other side and pull on off. Sending a lot more water downstream. This is actually upstream of the really big rack at the beginning of the video. This is one of the streams that helps feed the swamp. And look, see what I was talking about? The bottom of the pipe is gone. There's supposed to be metal out to the very end. Look at that. Reach on down in there, get these sticks out. Yeah, that pipe is very badly deteriorating. Most pipes in Massachusetts are like that. They just don't take care of them. Look at all that rust. I'm gonna go for a swim in that pond real fast before we take on off. Thanks for watching, everybody. Back in the pond, I'm getting some of that off. There'll probably be rust stain there forever. I don't really care. But I'm looking at that rock. Absolute neglect. That's why the rock was so hard to get off the grate at first. The grate literally rusted to the rock. Something like that to happen takes many years. So that means the DOT, nor the fire department, or the water department, maybe, is responsible, has checked this thing on years on end. Something that you rely on to protect your house. Not being inspected one bit. Which I find extremely concerning, because who is to say that pipe is even functional? You know, the city in Massachusetts that I moved out of about 4 years ago, they admitted on the news that like 30% of fire hydrants in the city were non-operable, and it wastes firefighters' time going around and figuring out which ones are working and which ones aren't, because they're not all marked. The water department is responsible for those ones. Don't know about this area right here. I just don't. Also, maybe the ones in that city, the fire department should be flushing and marking which ones don't work way ahead of time.